Now that we have talked on two parts, two oversights of fundraising, let us now move to the third one. That is also actually oversight. Most of the people think about it, but they overlook it. I would call it not understanding the valuation of the business. When you source money for your business, you are usually dealing with one or two type of capitals. Number one is equity. Equity where you give up an part of your ownership stake in your business. And the second one is debt, where you can take on an obligation for your business that you can agree to pay back instead of giving a part of your ownership. There are sometimes hybrid scenarios also that incorporate both of these, debt as well as equity. But at a basic level, you need to at least understand very deeply, I would say, I'm using the word deeply, because if you are going to run the business, you are going to deal with them on daily basis. And if you have understood this concept of equity and debt, it will become very easy for you to go for fund management at least. That is equity and debt. If you raise equity, you end up setting a value for your business, because anybody who will give you an equity investment, he would look into present value after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, vis-a-vis his multiplication of the money invested, not looking at the profit as yet, which is generally based on the stage of your business, the milestones you have reached, and ultimate potential of your business, as I said, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or maybe 7 years. Generally, lot of entrepreneurs don't understand the valuation. They say, let us start. Things will work. It will develop. Value can be talked about later on. Kaam to karo pehle. Just imagine that your business symbolizes an apple pie, because apple pie, I'm saying, if you go on Excel, you create a pie chart. Out of that apple pie, you have to share a small part, maybe medium or maybe large, depending upon the kind of equity investment you envisage to get into your business by the investor. To start with, you've got a complete 100% pie. Then you give out a slice, or maybe a percentage, small or maybe large, of that pie in exchange for an equity capital infusion into your company and your business plan. The hope is that tomorrow, in the future, your business become a huge pie, so that even though other people have a percentage or small piece or the large piece of your pie, when it grows, the pie has become bigger when you own 100% of a small pie, that your stake is worth more than the term in absolute money. Generally, new entrepreneurs do not understand how the pie works. Yes, some youngsters who have got some experience, some knowledge about accounts, mathematics, business, they might, but not generally. Because most of the educated people go for good jobs. The business is run by the people who are educated, but more aggressive. They don't want to work under anybody. They want to be their own bosses. So such people say that they have a business idea and they need to raise, say, 2 crore rupees. Then arbitrarily, they will decide that they only want to give up 10%. 10% of the equity. This thought establishes the value of the business, and a big one. If 10% of a pie is worth 2 crores, then 100% of the pie is 20 crores. That is 2 crore rupees is including of the cash taken by them into the infusion, is included in the total value of 20 crores, which investors is giving you. So that means before you raise any money, your value of your company is 18 crores. Because that 2 crore has to be deducted, which has to be returned to the investor. More established small business at present also, in this era also, are not worth 18 to 20 crores. What to talk about a lone new business? Sometimes, in addition to the slice of pie, some over-aggressive founders also give share of more than 20%. That is a decision-making share. I call it a veto power share. And also a designation of a CTO, CEO, or COO. Sometimes executive director also. Plus a seat on the board, making their future totally controlled by first and the seed investor. It is really dangerous to go for this kind of an offer or accept this kind of a deal. Even if you can find an investor to invest in your crazy valuation proposal, be aware. You may have to raise funds again in the future. And having a silly upfront valuation and share allocation can totally impede your business running ability to raise more funds in future. Again, it can run into a credibility issue. It can also damage the relationship with your investor, who is now in effect your business partner. This is where stress and strain develops. You are stressed up, you start straining your thoughts, your delivery, your talking, your expression, which in turn strains the relations, not only with the investors, but also with everybody. It can be your supplier, it can be your buyer, it can be your employee, it can be your banker, it can be your service provider, or anyone. So be very careful. You must try to avoid this. I give you few words how to avoid this. Point number one, make sure you understand that you are implying in terms of valuation. If you need help, for sure ask a professional. Do not stay away for this small investment. This is not an expense to taking a professional service from a person who can make you understand the valuation of your company and the pros and cons of giving share of a particular level and taking amount of a particular size. Think carefully. The pros and cons of ridiculously high valuation. If you can get one, consider. Point number three is consider an investment structure using debt, or if you have good advisors, perhaps a convertible debt or something else more better that either doesn't require you to set a business valuation or sets one in the future based on achieved metrics and benchmarks. So try to be very careful on this aspect of valuation of your enterprise. Giving share, taking the amount of money, giving designations, keeping the control, and your business plan levels and need of fund from time to time.